Hi everybody, and welcome back to Plastic Models by a Regular Dude and my 2021 quarter one update. Wow, quarter one sounds like a business or something, don't it? Well, I've attempted 3 times to do an update, my monthly update things, and it just hasn't happened. So I figured, you know what, at this point, I'm just going to make it a quarterly update. We'll talk about what happened January, February, March, and what's coming up. So, first thing, I want to talk a little bit about what's going on with the channel. The channel I've been doing, with the exception of updates, I've been doing regular uploads of various kits that I'm building, and been getting a lot of bench time, so it's been really good as far as that goes. The channel itself, the only thing I'm really doing different than I used to, and I'm not even sure any of it's popped up yet because I've got so many things going on at the same time, it's kind of hard to keep track. But I've introduced some time-lapse segments in my videos. The reason I'm doing that is to kind of help with the length of the videos a little bit, yet still show what I'm doing. Now granted, it's really fast, because I'm just using the time-lapse feature on my iPhone. But, that way it's, showing something going on. For example, like if I'm building an armor kit and I'm doing road wheels, I'll show what I'm doing with the first road wheel, maybe the first road wheel, bogey assembly, whatever. And then for the rest of them, I will do time-lapse, which cuts down dramatically on the time. So, if you've seen that yet, I'd like to know your thoughts. Do you like the time-lapse thing? Is it necessary? Is it distracting? Is it helpful? Whatever. Just, put in the comments down below what you think about the time-lapse bits that I'm putting interspersed through my build videos. So the other thing I've got going on the channel, and it's kind of a joint venture with Jim Deck at ShutterAce Models. We decided, he did an interview. He interviewed me a few months back. We mainly did it for fun, and but it was kind of interesting, and it was a lot of fun. So we talked about it a little bit, and we thought, why don't we, with all this technology we've got nowadays, like Zoom, for instance, why don't we do something called, or do something where we just pick a topic or two and just talk about it, model related, and talk about it. Both of our noggins be up on the screen, talk about it. We can show photos of things we're talking about or whatever, kind of like a video podcast kind of thing. I'm sure it's not an original idea, but it's something we want to try. And we've done one episode already, and I'll put a link in the comment section down below so you can go check that out if you haven't seen it. But we did the one and we enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun, and we're going to continue doing them. And I think the way of the format we're going to use is like one episode, he'll pick a topic and he'll host it and he'll post it on his channel, and then I can put a link like I'm going to do here so you can go check that out if you're already subscribed to Jim, and then vice versa. The next time I'll pick the topic, I'll host it, I'll post it, and then he'll put a link, and so on. And that way we can kind of both do it and just have a little bit of fun, just talk about hobby related stuff, and we may end up getting the viewers involved. I don't know, but that's pretty much it. That's the two things going on with the channel: time-lapse stuff and the chatterbox. So next up, I want to talk a little bit about some new stuff I've gotten for the hobby and for the bench and stuff like that. So let me flip the camera around and we'll take a look. Okay, what's first? I just got a pile of stuff over here, so we'll just talk about it. So I don't know if I've talked about this yet, but if I have, just bear with me. My memory's going. It's not what it used to be. But first thing is this Iwata Revolution SAR siphon feed airbrush, single action. It's got a 0.5 needle and nozzle on it, and I got this purely for doing primers and base coats, maybe clears, but I wanted something robust, something easy to clean, and didn't have to be fancy. Single action is good enough, but I wanted the 0.5 nozzle on it, especially for the primers, because I exclusively use right now Badger Stynel Res and its rebottled counterparts, such as the Ammo one-shot primers, and it works really good. Gives me a good spray. Nice thing about it is I can either use my small color cup that I use that came with my Pache H single action airbrush, or I can use the bottle that was supplied with the airbrush. And the nice thing is, these are kind of a universal bottle. I can buy them at my local big box hobby craft retailer because they sell the Iwata Media products. So I can get extra bottles with caps, so I can store stuff in them if I'm doing a big job or whatever. If it's something I use, you know, frequently, I can use these kind of bottles. And these things are super easy to clean. It's really, really nice. So that's the first thing that I've gotten that's fairly new. Again, I can't remember if I've talked about it or not, but the Iwata Revolution SAR. Next up, I was having a problem with one of my kits, the Jagdpanther that I'm working on, the main Jagdpanther, with the tow cables. It had the braided steel wire, and the instructions called for a certain length, and it was totally wrong. So I had cut them, and so they were pretty much useless. So I stuck them in the drawer to use for other things. I thought, you know, this is crazy. I've been wanting to try the copper cables, so I got this set. Scale metal tow cables for AFV models. There's 8 pieces in here, LH-Z, or Z if you're across the pond, the Atlantic pond. And they work really great. Got them from Sprue Brothers, and I've used them. They're super easy to cut, they're easy to bend, they're very malleable, so they work really good. So got those. I recently got an order from Model Paint Solutions, and I got some bottles. I wanted a size bottle. These are 40 milliliter. I wanted something like this to store my ammo one-shot primers in, because the bottles that they come in, they're those little, they're not the flip caps. They're not the flip caps like these. They're the ones that you push down in the back and it pops them open. Those things are horrible for me. I mean, I just get them clogged up, and then paint comes all around the out, or primer comes around all the outside. So, you know, that's dumb. I like dropper bottles, so I got these. I got a pack of 4 of the 40 milliliter. They come with a nozzle and a cap, and the nozzle is really snaps in there good. Way better than, like, say, Vallejo or one of those. So you don't have to worry about it popping out. And comes with mixing balls, so that's pretty cool. And with those, so you can actually pour stuff into it. Voila. They send you this cool little funnel, so you can pour your stuff from one bottle into another. So that's what I'm using for my ammo one-shot primers now. And I'm also using it for my lacquer thinner and my acrylic thinner. So it's good stuff. If you ever need any parts like that, check out the website. You know, they are called Model Paint Solutions, and have some really good stuff. And even, I guess it's common practice, I thanked him for it, but he says, yeah, I do that with all my customers. Those in different size droppers. You know, he carries bulk in them, but he throws in different sizes which is kind of cool because you can try them out and see which ones you like, and then purchase more if you need them. Something else I got, you'll see me wearing from time to time, is these just thin, it's like t-shirt material cotton gloves. And I got the extra large, and they're not even close extra large for my hand, so I don't know who's extra. I mean, maybe it's extra large for, you know, daycare or kindergarten or something. But anyway, they fit good enough. But I mainly got these for whenever I'm working on the model and I'm working on the finish, because that way I won't get fingerprints and stuff, because I normally wipe it down with isopropyl alcohol before I start painting. And so I'm not worried about fingerprints while I'm actually working on the model. But then whenever it comes time to handle it for doing painting and stuff, I'll use latex gloves, or actually nitrile gloves, to hold the model while painting, to protect my hands so I don't get paint and primer and whatever on my hands. But this is, once I've started putting paint on there and I'm doing taping and stuff like that, this kind of helps protect the finish. And I got them off Amazon. It was like $5 for like 100 of them or something. So pretty good deal, and they're pretty useful. Something else I got a pack of these from somewhere. Can't remember if I got them from Micromesh or if I got them from Sprue Brothers. But they're Micromesh dual angle sanding sticks. Now, I like these because they have a real skinny edge on them. They're kind of semi-rigid. They're kind of a little bit spongy, but they're rigid enough that you can do flat stuff. And it comes in basically 60 grit all the way up to 6,000. And they have proven to be, 12,000. That's the finest one right there. And they've proven to be very handy when sanding stuff. They're good quality, and I really like them. Working great. Something else I got this one from Model Paint Solutions, I believe. Maybe. I don't know. I've got so much stuff I can't remember where I got them from. But I got this Grex airbrush cleaner. Read some stuff. Model Paint Solutions actually does a test of different airbrush cleaners and how well they work on different types of paint, acrylic paints, including Tamiya type paints. And this stuff did really well. Price is good on it, and it comes in a nice big bottle, and I can transfer this into a smaller bottle. But a smaller bottle like this, and it works really well for acrylic paints. Mainly I need it for cleaning my airbrush after using Stynel res, but you know, it works really good. Speaking of paints, I've started using a new brand of paint, and it's the Mr. Hobby Aqueous Hobby Color Paint. Now, I wanted to try this because I'd heard it was really similar in makeup to Tamiya paints. As a matter of fact, I think the thinners are interchangeable. I do have thinner specifically for this, and one of these days I'll try some experiments, see if it's comparable to the X20A acrylic thinner. But the main reason I got, well, there's a number of reasons I got this. Number one is they have a really good range of colors. Tamiya has a lot of colors, but some of them are colors that they've been using for years, and I don't know if, you know, technology or research has kind of changed paint lines a little bit, but there are specific RAF, RAL, US colors, as well as armor colors in this lineup. And they look really good. And the thing I really like about them, especially for aircraft, because all the aircraft paints seem to come like this, is their semi-gloss. So I don't know if you remember, but usually when I mix up paint, especially for an aircraft kit, I will use X22, which is Tamiya's gloss. I'll mix in with my thinner and paint mixture to give me kind of a satin / semi-gloss paint, which is just easier it's easier for me to use weathering ink, or not inks, but washes and stuff like that. It just works a little bit better because the XF colors are so flat that whenever you try and do a pen wash, it just dissipates into that rough surface, and you don't get a nice deposit. So you either have to mix something in with it, or you paint it and then put a gloss in it. This kind of saves a step, either in mixing or in adding a separate coat of clear. So, and the colors are really, really good, and they're just really easy to work with, just like the Tamiya paints. I love Tamiya paints, and I won't be replacing them, but I will be adding to my arsenal of paints using these, since they are so similar. I've had people say that they'll mix this with Tamiya's to mix different colors. So I haven't tried any of that, so I can't vouch for it, but they smell a lot alike and they function a lot alike, almost identically. So the only drawback to the aqueous paints is they're really hard to come by. Well, they were really hard to come by in North America, or in the States, for some reason, but now they're starting to show up. I can find them at a couple of different retailers that I use, online retailers, but the only problem is the lineups right now only go up to like 104, number 104, H104, and there's a whole series of aircraft colors and other colors that are in like the 300 plus range, and those actually haven't got to the States yet. And I've contacted a couple of the retailers that I deal with, and they say it's mainly just because they're on a boat on their way over here with all the COVID things slowing shipping and all that kind of stuff. It's just, just slowing business down in general worldwide. They're not getting here as quick as they would hope, but they're supposed to be here, and as soon as they do, I'll be stocking up on some more colors, especially since I seem to be doing an awful lot of aircraft right now. Next thing I got are these masking dots. So they are made out of the same type of masking material as Tamiya tape. I think it's called washi tape. I think that's the generic term for that type of tape. And they are dots, 1 millimeter all the way up to 6 millimeter in 0.2 millimeter increments. So there is a wide range of dot sizes. Now, what are those good for? Well, I use them quite a bit. I'm always making masks very tiny. I'll use them to mask off a point where a pin is going to be going into another part where the cement will contact. That way I don't have to scrape it off. Just stick a little dot on there. You can use it for masking off landing lights or formation lights, or whatever those 3 lights are called on the wing of a lot of airplanes or on the fuselage. You can use them just for masking all kinds of smaller things, or if you need to paint a small circle, you can do it by using the outside part of it, because each one of these dots is surrounded by just like a little square, so you can use it positive or negative, I guess you'd call it. So these are real handy. They also really help whenever you're masking, whenever I'm masking canopies and stuff like that. If there is a curved spot in a canopy, like a real small curved spot that's kind of hard to cut smoothly, I can stick one of those dots on that curve of the appropriate size and then just connect it with a straight piece of masking tape. Which brings me, oddly enough, to the next thing I got. Infini Easy Cutting Type A cutting mat. Now what this is, it's a really rigid material. I don't know if it's an acrylic or what it is. It's what it feels like. But it is finely grooved horizontally and longitudinally. You can cut strips in even millimeters. Then you have 0.9, 0.8, 0.7, 0.6, 0.5, 0.4. So you can cut some really super thin strips of tape with this. and I've used it quite a bit, and it is a time saver, and it's super accurate. Whenever I'm cutting masks, no matter how hard I try and how much I measure, they'll be off just a little tiny bit from end to end. And I've started masking more things for painting, markings and stuff like that, so this is a big help. And it's really simple. You just stick some tape on there, you take your knife, determine what width you want, get your knife started in the little groove, and then just pull it down, and then cut the next one. Boom, you've got your nice little sliver of tape. So this was a really good purchase. I've used it a ton already, and I've only had it for, I don't know, month and a half maybe. So that's all the new stuff. So what else is going on? So what's on the bench? Well, as you can see, I've got this going on. It is the Fairy Swordfish Mark II. Working on that. That's one of the kits that Eric Davenport sent to me, and I am working on this thing, and it's going really great. So what else do I have on the bench under construction? I'm still working on the Ag Panther. I've got a lot of that done. I'll be doing an update soon on that on YouTube, so you can see what's going on. But I got some kinks worked out that I was having problems with, so all is back on track with that. I need to get a few more things. I want to do some foliage on the wires that go around the tank, you know, for like ambush stuff. But that one's coming along great. So things I've completed since last time. I've actually been quite productive with the models. I finished the Hasegawa 1/48 scale Hellcat in FAA colors. That one's finished, and I really liked the way that turned out. It was my first Hasegawa kit, and it was great, really good. And I've heard that some Hasegawa kits are bad, some are good, some kind of indifferent, but this one happened to be really good, and I enjoyed building it, and I really dug the color scheme. As a matter of fact, I think that's the first model that I used the aqueous paints on, and that sold me right there. Also completed, but all the videos aren't up, is the Tamiya 1/35 scale Panzer 38T. I got that one completed. Really good kit, goes together really well. No surprises. Comes with Lincoln length tracks, and those were just really good deal. I think this is the first, I think it's the first modern newer release Tamiya kit with Lincoln length that I've built. I've built other manufacturers that have Lincoln length, but this is the first Tamiya one, and man, they just fit like a glove. You know, pre-molded sag, the whole shooting match. But that one's done, and I'll be doing more updates on those on YouTube. Another one I did that I haven't posted anything of videos yet, because I only shot 2 videos, basically one of doing some construction and one finishing the construction and the final product, and that's an Accurate Miniatures 1/48 scale Yak 1 on skis. That's another first, because I've never built a Russian aircraft, Soviet aircraft in this case. I should say prop aircraft. I have built a jet, the MiG-21. But it's also the first Accurate Miniatures kit, and I've heard a lot of things about Accurate Miniatures kits. Most of them very good, and I have to say that I am impressed with their kits, and I talk about that in the video. So once I get that posted up, you'll be able to see my thoughts about the kit and how it went together, and you know, the final product. But it was a really fun kit, and I have one more Accurate Miniatures kit to do, so I'm pretty stoked about that. Alright, last thing for the channel for this episode is what's coming up on the bench. So the first thing, the next kit I'm going to start once I finish the Swordfish is the Tamiya Mosquito 1/48 scale. I think it's the Mark IV, I think, and you can either build like a bomber fighter version and a photo reconnaissance version. Well, that's what I'm going to do, the PRU version. I've never done a photo recon aircraft, never done a Mossy, so that one should be fun. And I like that kind of a medium-ish blue. I really like that color, and so that'll just really work out good for the photo reconnaissance deal. So that is the next one that I'm going to build for sure, and that should be coming up pretty soon. After that, the next aircraft I'm going to build, continuing my sudden kind of unconscious interest in British aircraft, will be the Tamiya, the newer tool Tamiya Spitfire Mark 1 in 1/48 scale. That is a really nice kit, and that's another one of those kits that Eric Davenport sent, and that one is going to be really sweet for a number of reasons. The one I'm going to build is Operation Dynamo aircraft, which is whenever the troops are being evacuated from Dunkirk, and some, the air support, I think it was 19 Squadron, and the plane was number 3200, I believe, QV, or were the letters on the side. And that's a pretty cool aircraft and has a really cool story behind it. Apparently it, shot down one aircraft. I don't remember if it was a 109 or a Heinkel or something, but shot down one aircraft and then was shot down, and he crash landed on the beach in France. He scuttled off and was on the lam for a little while, and then gave himself up because he didn't want to get captured by the Germans and shot for spy or something like that. So he gave himself up to the Germans, and eventually he ended up in Colditz, which is another interesting subject. So he went to Colditz, and then he finally was liberated toward the end of the war, and unfortunately died in a training exercise in an F-100, not a training, test pilot kind of thing, here in the United States, flying the F-100. But the cool thing about the aircraft is I guess when it crashed on the beach, they just left it there, and eventually it was just totally covered in sand. Well, some years back, I don't know if it was 2013 maybe, some time back, it became exposed again. So they dug that thing up, and they ended up, I don't know, I couldn't tell if they used, I don't think they used parts from it because it was so just, a lot of it was gone. But they ended up building, using original techniques and blueprints, they built a replacement Spitfire. QV code, the whole shooting match. And yeah, it's a really cool looking plane. And one of the things I like about it, with the interesting story that comes with it, is I like the color scheme, because on those real early ones, they had like a black wing and a white wing underneath. The upper part had the dark earth and dark green. Underneath that, a white wing and a black wing, and then from the back of the wing to the tail on the lower fuselage was bare metal. So that's right up my alley. I like those combinations of metal and paint for schemes. So that one should be a pretty fun kit to build. Once I get the Jagdtiger or Jagdpanther finished, I'm not quite sure what armor kit I'm going to build next. I've got two in my meager stash. I've got two in my stash, and I need to decide, but they're way different eras. So I'll kind of have to think about it, see what I want to do, how I feel once I get to that point, because I still need to finish the Jagdpanther, and I still do need to finish my Stug 3 by Bronco. That one's almost done. I just need to quit being lazy and get the magic tracks out and get those put together. And once I get those done, get them painted up, put on, then all I have to do is weather and add some stowage and stuff like that to the kit, and it'll be done. But that one's been dragging on a while. So anyway, that's what's on the bench. All right, that's it for the Q1 update. Hopefully that wasn't too long. So just as a quick, reminder, if you don't mind, if you've been watching my videos and you've noticed any time-lapse type stuff, let me know in the comments whether it's a distraction, whether you like it, whether it's necessary or unnecessary. And I know it's my video and I can do them the way I want, but I'm really interested in what you guys have to say about it. If everybody says they hate it, that doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to stop doing it. I probably will, but if people like it, then I may keep on doing it. I just need to get a balance of what's too short of a bit of time lapse, because I can be sitting at my desk doing something and I think, oh wow, it's going to be 2 minutes of time lapse. Well, it ends up being like 5 seconds. So I got to work the balance out in that. But I would like to know your opinion on whether or not you like the time lapse or not. So put it in the comment section down below. And I'll put some comments or put some links in the description to Jim's channel, ShutterAce for the Chatterbox stuff. And then I will also put one in there for I just went blank. ModelPaintSolutions.com. Good stuff. Good guy. Super quick service, even during these hard shipping times of COVID. So, if you need to get on there and check it out, because they got all kinds of really cool paint related stuff. So, he also does repairs and things as well on certain. So, if you need repairs done on your airbrush, he does them. So, I think that's it. So, that's all. That's all for this Q1 update for 2021. Thanks for joining me here on Plastic Models by a Regular Dude. As always, I will see you all later.